last song I'll talk about is the last song on the album, I Just Dropped My Keys. Weird thing about the song is that the music that used to be associated with that title is now non-existent. Or not non-existent, it's just not on the album. And it was actually used to be something from the same thing as what's on Future Becomes Present. From that same flute piece I was talking about. There was a different thing. But I'll tell you a good reason why that didn't go on the album. Because it was in 7/8. That's not so fun to try to record. Just saying. When you're one person and you're trying to layer a bunch of things. So that's just because, once again, I've said I'm not very good at being rhythmically precise sometimes. So I was like, I'm not having this on here if it sounds like a horrible, sloppy, So I kicked that thing off. But I ended up doing something weird one day. I Just Dropped My Keys was definitely the last song that was written on the album. And it was written strangely. Because I had this 12-string guitar that I had actually bought around Thanksgiving. And I don't even really play guitar, okay? You can probably tell I'm bad. But I just sat down with that thing and I just played that theme, like the and I was just like, this has to be something on that album. Like, it just has to be. So that's what I did. I layered a bunch of those same guitars, like some with pitch shifts, fifths, flanger. Like, I just did a bunch of weird things to that, and then I added in the same things on Change the Subject, that's weird, spicy sounding keyboard thing, and then I even had some interesting sound on there. And then the beat that you hear later on, the like tapping noise, that's me tapping on my shower shelf. Because I was taking a shower one morning and I just tapped on that thing, probably when I was listening to some kind of good song. And I was like, I have to have something on my album of me doing this, like, just because. So I tapped on that shelf, and it's crazy. But the truth is, this song was it was influenced by something, because I wanted to have a song on the album that was influenced by the fact that for a year, I was in a group called Etrab. I played the violin in a group. They have like Arabic music, and I think that, the truth is, like, there are lots of types of music that we just don't ever hear here in America, but there are a lot of very cool kinds of music in other parts of the world that in some ways have some similarities to the music. But the thing about that kind of music that was in that group that I played it, it's almost similar to, like, jam band music in a way, where it's like, I forget the word for it, but they have a word for, like, taking a solo. And, a lot of those songs, they are just one page, and then it just repeats the page. You just play it over and over, however many times that maybe the leader of the group says, or just, and that's what's cool, because you just really can go to town on some parts. It's interesting, though, because they had, like, half flats and half sharps, which that was pretty tricky. And unfortunately, as you probably know, that's not possible to play on the keyboard. So I didn't have any half sharps or flats in this song, but I wanted it to be, kind of similar, once again, like, loosely inspired on that. Because, nothing that I've ever written is just like, so original to me. Like, it's not like anything else exactly, but everything I have is, like, somewhat inspired by something that I like. And, the breakdown that happens when it goes into F, that was more based off of, my dad's band and the stuff that we do, and that, where there can be things like that where it's almost just like power chords in a way at some parts, where it's just so full and deep sounding. Sometimes it's just like, it's that, because that's, the kind of days that the G-Berries came from, like late 90s, mid 90s. It's like a lot of songs in those days. So I just wanted to have something that was like that, because I never written a song on guitar before, but that, even though I play guitar on 3 songs on the album, that's the only one that was written on guitar. So I just had to have that to close the album. Like, you got to have a closer like that. It's just like wacky. You got to do that. You can't just have like I couldn't end it on Future Becomes Present. I couldn't. But there you go. Hopefully if you're interested in how some of these things came about, that's how it was. So there you go.